Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're having a great Wednesday. Um, it's always weird, right? When there's a holiday on Monday. Like, what day is it? So, it is Wednesday today. I hope you are doing well. Today, we're going to talk about a little bit deeper on morning routine. So, yesterday we talked about what my morning routine looks like and why I do it on vacation and how I do it on vacation. And today we're going to talk about creating that morning routine and the elements that you need to create a morning routine that is both worthwhile, so it's worth getting up for in the morning, it's worth doing, and it's also sustainable. It lasts. It's something that you keep doing. I started my originally just having a morning routine when my son Trevor was maybe around 2. He's now 11. So I'm about 9 years strong of a consistent, worthwhile morning routine. And so we're going to talk about three elements that are really key in setting up a morning routine that you'll keep around for a while. Now, I want to say one thing, and I'll talk about specifics in a little bit, but my morning routine has changed over the years, and that's okay. When I talk about sustainable, I mean that you're regularly choosing, actively choosing what you want to do in the morning. You have a morning routine, you do it regularly, but that doesn't mean that, like, okay, well, I said I was going to do yoga every single morning and I'm not really liking it, but I'm going to keep doing it because I said I was. Not necessarily, right? You want your morning routine to work for you and to be worthwhile for you. And that brings us to point number one. The first element is to create a lasting morning routine. Number one, it needs to serve you. So, what you choose to put in your morning routine needs to serve you, not only now, but future you. So, what I mean by that is you want to put the things that you do in your morning routine are things that are helping you become the kind of person that you want to become. They're helping you move forward. They're helping you make progress. They're helping you to um, do and become who, the things you want to do and the person you want to become. So, for example, there are lots of good things that we can do in our morning routine. One of those, for an example, would be running. Let's say your friend wakes up early before it's hot, right? And every morning before she gets the kids off to school all year round, she goes out for a run. So you think, oh man, that's such a good idea. I want to do what she does. I want to go running because she goes running. Or maybe some of the elements that I shared yesterday appeal to you and you think, I want to do that because Chanel does that. What really matters in your morning routine is what matters to you. And so make sure that your morning routine doesn't just sound good on paper, like it feels good. It's the things that are going to help you become the person that you want to become. So some questions to ask yourself are what do I need? Like, what is not happening in the day that I wish was happening? What are things that really matter to me? Another really crucial component, and I didn't realize this when I first started morning routine. When I started with yoga, it was because I felt really stressed and I thought, okay, I need the yoga aspect, right? Yoga is calming, you breathe deep. What I didn't realize, I needed time alone. I needed quiet time. And so I could have probably accomplished that with other things besides yoga. I could have had herbal tea in the morning. I could have watched the sunrise. I could have sat outside and later I've added elements of those things to my morning routine. But what is the heart of what you're missing? Um, really spend some time thinking about that, journaling that, and figuring out the answer to that question. So, a couple things that I've done in my morning routines over the years when I ask myself this question. Once at church and just as I was studying scriptures and stuff for a while, I really felt like I need to make time for family history. And there's a thing that we do in my church called indexing. And I think it's through the church. It might be through Family Search. I'm not exactly sure. But what it is you look at these old census records that are written in like cursive, like the things our kids can't even read anymore, at least my kids can't. And you would take that cursive and type it in so that it could be digitized and people could search it. It makes it searchable, which is really cool because then people can find their ancestors. And only our generation can do it because the younger kids, maybe there's a lot of older people who know computer, but the younger kids can't help with this because they can't always read cursive, and it's even hard for me to read sometimes. The writing can be messy. Anyways, that's besides the point. The point is, I wanted to do it and I couldn't find time to do it, so I decided to add it to my morning routine. And so every day I would just spend 5 or 10 minutes indexing, and I did that for a long time. And finally, I felt like, okay, I'm ready to move on after a year or so of indexing consistently every single morning. But that's how I was able to make time for it. That's how I was able to get it in. I also, as you may know, have published 5 books. And the first one I didn't do this way, but my 4 children's books that I wrote, um, I had 5 kids when I wrote those books, and I had a baby when I wrote those books. And so I had to figure out how to make time, create time in my day to write these books. And so I added it to my morning routine. Every morning, I would write at least 500 words for my book. And so what I would do is outline it. So I kind of knew the outline, I knew the story, their fiction, children's fiction, like Junie B. Jones size, like those short chapter books. And so I would figure out what I was going to write, and then every morning write 500 words. And so my book was written slowly, morning to morning to morning, because that mattered to me. And that was when I could be really consistent, even though the rest of my day was kind of crazy with the kids. So number one is make sure your morning routine serves you. It's doing those things that you are important to you, that are important to your future self. They're important to who you are becoming. Number two, keep your routine in the same order every single day. You want in the morning to have as little decisions as you need. I mean, as you can. You don't want to be making a bunch of decisions in the morning, like, what should I do now? Or like, okay, I know I'm going to do these 5 things in my morning routine, but first I'll do number 4 and then I'll do number 1. And then you're kind of like scrambling to figure out, and it makes you forget. So what the key to creating a morning routine that lasts, why you want to do each thing in order, is because it's actually creating a track in your brain. So in our brains, with these neural pathways, and the more you do the same thing in the same order, the more your brain can kind of go into habit mode. And that's a good thing, because that means when I wake up, I know exactly what I'm doing. I am going downstairs. I am getting out my journal. I don't have to like, what should I do now? What am I going to do next? There's not a question. I just get right to it. And then after journal comes reading, and after reading comes yoga, and after yoga comes meditation. And it's in that same order. I missed out on saying prayer, which I mentioned yesterday. Prayer is also in there, added in with my journaling. And so anyways, I do those things in the set order every single day. And so I don't have to think about what I'm going to do. And that really frees up your mind to allow it to just follow the same path day after day after day. So if you think about a routine is a series of habits. So I have a habit of praying. I have a habit of journaling. I have a habit of doing yoga. But when you link those habits together, and you do one thing after the other, that's when you create a routine. A routine is like a series of habits that all happen together. So it's important that you cut out the decision making, that you keep it in the same order every single day. Number 3 is consistency. So I've mentioned a few times every day, right? And that is super important, that you do the same thing every day, because this is actually how you build a habit, is you do it every day. And so even when you're on vacation, even when you're sick, even when you don't feel like doing your morning routine, you do your routine day after day after day. And this is why that piece that we talked about yesterday, called the range of possibilities, is so crucial. Because on the days that you don't feel good, or you don't feel like doing your morning routine, you need to have a simplified version of just doing a little bit that really still locks in the habit. And so when you have that, and you have that simplified version, and you can say, yes, I still did it, you're still able to celebrate that. You still keep that momentum. You still do the morning routine, and that consistency really is going to help you build that sustainable long-term morning routine. So when you have this morning routine and you're doing it consistently day after day, what happens is this. You There's a thing in psychology called self-signaling. And what that means is that you judge yourself based on what you do, kind of the way that other people, like the way that we notice what other people are doing and we make assumptions about them. We do the same thing about ourselves. We see what we're doing and we say, oh, I'm the kind of person who does yoga in the morning. I'm the kind of person who has a morning routine. I'm the kind of person who journals in the morning. When we see that, we start to identify with those things. And when we identify, like, I'm the kind of person who has this morning routine, it becomes who we are. And that makes us even more likely to do it. So there's this positive feedback loop. As we do something, we feel good. We feel like we're that kind of person. And since we're that kind of person, we're going to get up and do it again tomorrow. And so that's why it's important that we do it consistently so that we don't feel like I'm the kind of person that doesn't follow through, because that's another signal we can send to ourselves. So really crucial to having a great day is starting the day right. Get your morning routine right, and you're going to feel so good throughout the rest of the day. You want to start with a win. You want to start with those things that matter to you. And so these three things that we've talked about today are key to creating a morning routine that is sustainable and meaningful to you. Morning routine is something that I teach in Mompreneur Life Made Simple. Our next group is starting soon. It starts July 19th. So if you haven't already, hop on a phone call. Let's talk and see if that's a good fit for you. It's a 3-month group coaching program where we go deep into habits and organization, morning routine, really creating a life vision, co-creating your life with God. It's a powerful coaching opportunity for you, and there is a scholarship available. So if that is calling your name, then reach out. I'd love to talk to you. Have a great day, you guys. I will be back tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. Pacific to talk a little bit more about morning routines. We'll see you there. Bye.